You.
Do not disturb, making sure all my tabs are off. And
Absolutely.
I'm so tired. I know you are too.
I am tired. You know, it's crazy. Last night, I was actually I was got like a second wind, and I was sitting, I was doing laundry and stuff. And it's like, I've been awake for like 24 hours and I'm like not tired. So I popped a melatonin. I was out in 2 minutes.
I got a little second win, so I did like a quick grocery delivery
Okay.
and then did a little meal prep. And then I was like, okay, now I'm going to bed.
Right. Well, so not like an official topic, but there's some exciting news coming out about Icon of the Seas, the Queen
I've
Royal.
been a terrible travel person and have not read any of it.
They've released very little. I mean, we know it's going to be bigger than Oasis class,
Which
so
is
it's mind blowing, right? And so it'll be bigger than so Icon of the Seas will be the largest ship in the world. I mean, we'll know more. I think it's the 20th, so in a couple of days we'll know more about it, and I'm hoping itineraries are released. And
do you think it's going to get the Sweet Neighborhood?
oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, yeah, no
I
question.
would think that that is going to be almost a standard going forward on most ships. I mean, because we talked about it last week with Jarvis with the airlines
Yep,
of how there's this push for more premium experiences that people
sure.
are willing to pay for. And I mean, I even sent you another one with Lufthansa last night. There was another one we looked at besides Delta too. It's Delta, Lufthansa. Who else? I feel like we talk about it so much. I thought there was one other airline.
I don't remember. But no,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I think we're going to see an expansion of the suite. I mean, look, so with Norwegian and the Prima, like it's the largest haven they've had, and they have the most suite categories of any cruise ship ever. So they're really trying like to find a suite configuration for almost anybody, and I think that's going to be a trend going forward. I really do.
Well, and I think in that realm, Royal needs to compete with that too because their suite program doesn't compete with anything else in that class. And then there was also that line of divide between junior suites.
Right.
Like you're in a suite, but you're not
No,
a suite. Yes.
a junior suite is an extra large balcony. And don't get me wrong, when I've done Royal, I've enjoyed my junior suites, but
Oh, they're a great amount of space. Like
yeah,
it's kind of like it's just right space wise. Like if you're traveling with one or two people, like
I mean, hot take
it's
on some Royal Caribbean ships, I actually like the junior suite more than the grand suite. Like just like the
wow.
configuration, the walk-in closet. I mean, I do a little bit.
And guys, remember if you are watching on Facebook and you're going to comment down in the comment box, make sure you put a dash with your name because your name won't show up unless you're watching on Restream or YouTube, which plug to check out the YouTube channel Today in Travel. But Jason,
Beautiful.
in the words of you, it's top of the hour.
It's top of the hour. Let's get started. Well, guys, you know what it is. It's 11 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday. It means it is time for Today in Travel. Haley and I just got back from traveling. We met each other just barely at JFK. So we're going to talk about our travel that we just did, bring you all the news. We're talking about airport lounges. We're talking about hotels. We're talking about passports. Anything to do with travel, we talk about it here. I am Jason Poole. I'm a travel advisor with Cruise Planners, and this is just our show we do every week and just basically show you what Haley and I talk about off screen all the time. Good morning, Haley. Introduce yourself. How
Good
are
morning,
you?
guys. If you don't know me by chance, my name is Haley. I own a hotel sales support company, Hospitality with a Flair, with a great team there, and I travel blog. I love Europe, cruising, Disney, just all the things, especially really nice hotels. And I was kind of looking out the window like this as my plane was pulling away from JFK yesterday. I know he's there.
I I was right there. Oh, and you saw the picture of Jarvis took a picture of my flight as we were descending into JFK. So that was funny. That
Yeah,
was
it's hilarious.
Well, let's get started talking about our travels. You were just in Florida. So let's hear about like what'd you do? Did you enjoy it? Tell us all
Yes.
about your trip.
So it was personal partially. My sister got married, so went down with my dad and my family and did that. And it was wonderful. That was actually my first time in Daytona area.
Oh, I've been to Daytona.
And it was interesting because it was also their Biketoberfest, which is when like 30,000 motorcyclists converge.
Sounds very loud.
But I'm not really a NASCAR fan, but the hotels that we stayed at were near the track, and it's kind of impressive. Like I don't know what I was expecting, but like
It's big. I saw it by accident. I was just driving through Daytona for work years ago, and I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" Like
it's
it's
like
really
really
big.
impressive. It's really impressive.
It really is. It's massive.
It's huge. But then I did the Disney thing because it was wine and food festival. Mickey's Not So Scary, and I got to stay at that Swan Reserve again, but I was in
Okay.
a suite this time. Which there were some interesting different perks that came with being in a suite there. Like you got access to the relaxation room at the spa for free. There were a few other things included. That was an amazing experience. And we did a cabana on the second day in the pool, which was wonderful. Wine and Food Fest was great. And Not So Scary was great. But one tip, I know that we do have some Disney people that were messaging me on Instagram. When you buy a Not So Scary ticket, the party starts at 7 p.m., but you can get into the park at 4 p.m. And I was also allowed to purchase Genie Plus Skip the Ride to use between 4 to 6. So I was able to bang out quite a few rides with my family. The good old theme park life, but I am dead. I did like 40,000 steps in
Very
two
nice.
days. And then flew back early yesterday morning. But, still love Swan Reserve, love getting Bonvoy points instead of staying at a traditional Disney property, but still having Disney perks is
That is
very
a good.
nice.
Nice.
I was talking with somebody on the boat about it. I'm just like, honestly, I don't think I'll stay elsewhere. I have to look into their Bonnet Creek properties, but the Swan and Dolphin are right there next to like Boardwalk Beach Club and still have the boat access to like Hollywood Studios and Epcot. They get the extra magic hours for being a deluxe resort. And plus, you earn points to use elsewhere in your travels. So works great. I mean, I'm very jealous of your trip because I've now tried 3 times to plan a trip to London and it not happen. It Your
Yes.
London is my Paris.
Right. Right. Yeah. So I did a long weekend in London. I was there just for 3 nights. I've never done such a short stay in Europe before, but I was like, why not? It was my first time to fly Virgin Atlantic.
I'm so
So
jealous.
as we discussed a couple weeks ago, Virgin Atlantic is joining SkyTeam, which is amazing. That's Delta's alliance, but they have a partnership already in existence with Delta. So I actually booked the flight through Delta, so I'll learn Sky Miles, MQMs, MQDs, and everything. We keep it fair and balanced here. I went to the Virgin Lounge at JFK. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't my favorite.
The food option was neat though. So
The food
please don't
option was
elaborate
neat.
on
It just I don't know. It just they didn't have enough workers. It took a while to get drinks. I mean, it was a fine lounge. The nice thing about it is it's very close to the Virgin gates, which is very nice. So in
Yeah,
Terminal 4, you have A's and B's, and like Virgin's down in like the corner by itself in the A's. So it's
I
like
always forget there's A's in that
same
line because I spend so much time in the B.
the B's, but there is an A's, and like the Emirates Lounge is over there, the Virgin Lounge is over there,
I
and
think
so
there's a
guys,
Qatar
this
one
was
there too, isn't there?
the what?
Doesn't Qatar have one over there
Yes,
too?
yes. Yeah, they're actually all three right next to each other. So I don't think I even told you this, Haley. So I get to the Virgin Lounge and I show them my boarding pass, and I was flying premium, so not upper class. Just I was in premium. Um, and so they said, "Oh, well, you're not an upper class. This is only for upper class." Like, "Oh, I have an American Express Platinum card. No, that gets me in." And she said, "Oh, well, we're not accepting American Express Platinum cards right now because of how full the lounges are getting." And I'd heard that was happening but which I think is a little crappy because it's on their website that they do accept Amex for the lounge. And I said, okay, well, it's on your website, but be that as it may, I am platinum with Delta, which is Elite Plus Sky Team, and I get into the lounge. And they were like, oh. So they scanned my boarding pass. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Poole. We see you're platinum with Delta. I probably just come in. So I was kind of like, maybe next time they should just scan the boarding pass
Yeah.
first. So we did lounge. I mean, it was fine. I still like this.
Or even like look at the ticket, be like, okay, typically speaking, with our economy and premium economy, the lounge access doesn't come. Are you loyalty with Sky Team, Delta, etc.?
Right.
Like go over the other options, but no.
Right. So I thought the lounge was okay, but I get on the plane, and the first thing I say when I get on the plane is I just thought it was just beautiful. I mean, it reminded me of my suite on Virgin Voyages. Like the reds and the purple accent lightings. The premium the premium seat was really nice. I mean, it's like a domestic first class seat. They were handing out pre-departure.
Do the feet go up like Delta's premium economy, or is it just a bigger seat?
No, they go up. And actually, I kind of like it because the footrest is under the seat in front of you. I like that.
That's nice.
I like that bit of like the little flap that comes up under you.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really nice. They were handing out pre-departure beverages. So we got some Prosecco before we took off. I mean, it was great. And I mean, the food was wonderful. The service was great. I mean, it really felt like I was in like a long haul domestic Delta first class and premium. And I kept looking over in upper class, like, I wonder what they're getting then over there. So it was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I highly recommend Virgin Atlantic. A little fact I learned: London Heathrow, the airport, has a 6 a.m. curfew. You cannot land before 6:02 a.m. in Heathrow.
Interesting.
So as my flight was scheduled to land at 6, as you know, those long hauls often get in early.
Yes.
So we could have landed if there wasn't a curfew at like 5:20, 5:30. So we just kind of circled the airspace for 30 minutes. And then we were one of the first ones to land. And all the planes, I was checking my apps, all the planes were landing. I mean, I was sprinting to get through passport control. And it was backing up very fast. But I got through in like no time at all. Am I backing up early?
That's lame.
I would
have had to pull back and just say, like, Olivia, get on.
Right. Let's go. But London was wonderful. I stayed at the Hyatt Regency, the Churchill again. Absolutely wonderful. We saw a couple shows. I'm with one of my good friends. We saw Dear Evan Hansen. We went to the ABBA. We went to the ABBA The Voyage concert. It was unbelievable. I mean, when they came out, I actually had tears in my eyes and goosebumps. It looked like them. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was a great time. Flew Virgin Atlantic back. So I did the Virgin Lounge at Heathrow. I'm like, let me give this Virgin Lounge a try. Wow. I think that's the best lounge I've ever been to. Like, it was. So you order on your phone. So I had an Eggs Benedict. And I mean, this was like a gourmet Eggs Benedict. Like, they delivered. They had servers going around filling up.
That's a little different. And I think you told me in New York, like, you order on your phone or whatnot.
Yes. So the Virgin, like, you order on your phone. Now, if you want a drink, you can easily go up to the bar and get it. But I mean, they like brought you your food. They had a full like charcuterie like station. You could like build your own, like, and they were doing it for you. They had like a hummus station. It was truly unbelievable. I mean,
they have a chicken tender station.
Probably for lunch or dinner, I would have gotten it. But the Eggs Benedict was quite.
I don't blame you. I would tear that up too.
But it was wonderful. I loved Virgin. Just a tidbit. I learned this, but this is my first time ever flying a Delta partner. If you fly Delta or American United, your points typically hit very soon after the flight. Partner flights can take up to a week, so you can submit a form.
At my Air France, the one time I was on an Air France plane, I don't think I.
Yeah, so I still have not gotten any points from my Virgin, and Delta asked you to wait a week before you would submit a missing points form. So London was wonderful. Had a great time. Cannot wait to go back. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it.
I know. Then you and I are gonna hop back across the pond here.
No,
What day do you leave?
Saturday.
Saturday, and then I leave 10 days after.
Right. So I'm thinking I'm leaving my suitcase out, and I'm doing laundry, and I'm just putting the clothes back in the suitcase.
Honestly, I would, because I took, I'm obviously not really wearing my warm weather clothes these days. So when I cleaned them from our Disney cruise in September, I just repacked my suitcase and
Right.
was
Well,
done with it.
it was a great time. I really, again, I hate I missed you by less than a half hour.
It was literally, we were in the same spot. We had the Snapchat mat.
How close we both were together. So, all right, well, that's enough about us. Let's talk about the news. So this has kind of been a trend we've seen with some other airlines. We've seen others do this. So back in 2021, Delta rolled out this like air and rail program. So you could book a flight and it would include rail in the purchase. Well, Delta is revamping this and adding even more options to it. So let's just say you're booking, you're booking a trip, from the States to Florence, and it could give you an option of flying, JFK to Rome and then a train Rome to Florence. So it's all like in one package. I think it's a really neat idea. There are pros and there are cons to it.
I was a little salty when you first sent me this program. So I was going to be like, oh, are we having to do rail for Southern Europe? Because, ITA.
Right.
I was making those jokes, but.
Yes. Well, so the pros are if your reservation's all linked and your flight is delayed, they will automatically rebook your rail portion. Okay. So that is kind of a nice benefit. The cons are you don't earn Sky Miles or spend on the rail portion, only on the air portion. Now, if you have a credit card that gives you points for airline purchases, you would still get it, but it hits your credit card. The whole thing hits it as Delta.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't earn Sky Miles on the rail portion. And you got to check the pricing, right? Because sometimes it's less expensive to bundle it. Sometimes it's more expensive to bundle it.
So sometimes you're paying for convenience.
You're paying for convenience. Absolutely. Right.
There's some things that it makes sense to splurge on. The convenience is not worth the headache.
Yeah. Look, I have clients who want sometimes to book flights and hotels and transfers all with the cruise line. That's not how I personally choose to do it. But there are people who want like one invoice from one supplier. And, it's all about just, your comfort level.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's exciting, though. It gives people that ease, because some people do get a little confused when it comes to booking rail in Europe. So it's kind of a nice way to group it all together.
Especially Americans, because we don't have that here.
No. And it's so easy, because one of my employees is staying longer.
Okay.
In Italy, they're going to go up to Venice and stuff. And she was like, wait, is it this? I'm like, it's a lot easier than you think. I highly recommend making sure you do a direct train, because some of them do have you got to get off here and hop on another train. And some of these areas, English is not. And let's be honest, even no matter where you are in the world, those train speakers that they talk over are just awful. The audio is awful.
I will say I actually did a really good job in London on the tube. I will give credit. Apple Maps makes it so easy. I was using Apple. My friend was using Google. It was the same thing. They make it so easy. And they know you don't have service down there. So they already download everything. And
that's what's nice. I've used it in New York too. It's stay on 7 stops.
Yes.
Get off. And that's really, really nice. That's a great little tip for.
Yeah, it was really, really nice to use. And the iPhone with Transit worked and I've used it in New York too. It's just so easy. You just throw your iPhone down, the gate opens, when you leave, the gate opens, and then your phone talks to the
Did you
credit
use
card.
the Oyster app on the tube?
Did I what?
What app did you use for the tube? Did you do an Oyster card on your phone?
Nope. I mean, literally, you just throw your phone down and it just uses Apple Pay.
Oh, very nice.
I mean, literally, I didn't even double tap or like face. You literally just put your phone down, it goes ding, and the gate opens. I mean, it
Wow.
took like half a second, and then you do it to leave, and then like hours later, it settles up. And my friend,
like Jason needs to do a 5 tips for London for the YouTube channel.
oh, okay.
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Look on both sides of the road before you cross, because as an American, we're like, okay, we're good. Oh, they're coming the wrong way. Coming the wrong way. So, all right. Next one I'm really excited about. So, guys, if you have been paying attention to travel news lately, you know these lounges are getting over. They're too, like, everybody has status, everybody has credit cards. It's gotten too easy to get into lounges these days. So I'm excited for the Capital One news for 2 reasons. One, more lounges will be great to give us some more space at the touring clubs, sky clubs, Virgin clubs, right? But the one complaint I have with lounges is I never think the food is just great, unless it's Nashville Sky Club for breakfast.
That is good. I'm gonna
good.
Throw a hat in there too.
It's very good. But I just think like the lounge food is always just kind of it's okay. So Capital One is debuting this new lounge concept all based around dining. They are wanting to really make the lounge somewhere where you can get like a real meal with like real food. We've seen other companies do that, like American did this months and months ago with some of their flagship lounges and for their like first class experience. It was American with a few that still has like, first for long haul.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. We're going to see this roll out in New York and DC. And I am really excited to see this work. I hope this will put pressure on American Express, on Delta, on AA to up their game.
And that's where exactly I was going to take this. Is I'm excited to see. So, my brother-in-law, up until last year, so worked for American Express in Manhattan.
Oh, okay.
And American Express views Capital One as its largest competitor across the board, card-wise. And I think that we could see some interesting new offers come to board.
Yeah.
That new Capital One Venture card, or Venture X, pardon me, is an attempt to compete with, American Express and their travel cards, as well as Visa.
Right.
And, I'm just curious to see. I think we're only going to benefit from it. Because really, up until this point, Visa's not competing at that level with American Express.
No.
Nobody's really given American Express a run for this more hard product on the travel perks.
No. I think this is wonderful. So, all right. So let's talk about St. Lucia.
Yes.
I've been to St. Lucia with you all those years ago.
Yes. And we both agree, a hot take, that if you're wanting the Hawaii aesthetic for a fraction of the price, St. Lucia.
I agree. So St. Lucia is reporting near pretty much right there pre-COVID numbers at their resorts. So St. Lucia is just really big on all-inclusive. There's a bunch of sandals property. There's some autograph collection all-inclusives there. Like there's just a lot of all-inclusives in St. Lucia. And it's a beautiful island. It really looks like Hawaii.
It does.
Tangent. I think the best banana bread I've ever had in my life was on that truck. Remember, on like the side of the road.
Yep.
Oh my God. I go up and she goes, "I'm sorry, we just ran out of banana bread." I was like, "Oh my God, I really wanted some." She goes, "I have another batch coming out of the oven in like 10 minutes if you can wait." I was like, "I'll wait." And
it's so good. Their bananas are just like this very like caramelized, honey-ish, very,
so
very sweet. It's remarkable. I love it. And I mean, and you keep in mind, even though these places say that they're almost back to pre-COVID numbers. Please don't get twisted. They're making money hand over fist, because I think I'd sent Jason another article that overall the cost of travel is up 43%.
It was
So
expensive.
maybe the occupancy isn't back where it is, but some of these places are making hand over fist.
Well, what's interesting is that more luxury brands are starting to invest in St. Lucia. So we're going to see some more like larger, higher end all inclusive. We're going to see some more like 5-star hotels that are not all inclusive of St. Lucia. People just doubling down on St. Lucia, but it's fairly easy to get to from the United States. And it's less expensive than going to Hawaii, but still offers that lush greenery, beautiful water. I mean,
Well, I think you're going to see a double down in your like Bonvoy and even
Mhm.
Hilton coming more into the Caribbean, because with Hyatt acquiring Apple,
Right.
there's now not a whole lot of competition. Like, that's a nice alternative to Sandals
It is.
for somebody that still wants points and whatnot.
I mean,
Like, I know there's this property that we've been courting for a bit to help work on sales. It's an independent in Turks and Caicos, one of the little islands in there, and it's going to be flipping to a Marriott because they have no presence
wow.
there. So
Wow.
we will only benefit from this.
I'm excited. I'm excited. All right. Well, guys, good news. If you remember a couple months ago, Haley and I talked about how the State Department for the United States was doing temporary online passport renewals, not original applications, renewals. They allowed 25,000 people to do it. It went well. So they just opened it up again for just a very short amount of time. So if you need to renew your passport, go online and do it ASAP. They're going to close it very soon. They've not said how many they're going to allow, but they're going to close it very soon. They said they're most likely going to open up a little bit more in November as well. So they're really trying to test this, make sure it goes well. I think this is long overdue. Like decades overdue. But so if you need to renew your passport, now's a good time. Go do it. You can do it on the State Department
And
website.
especially if you're doing holiday travel, get it done now.
Oh my God.
Like yesterday.
Yes. So, all right. That was it for
Question of the day. Now,
news.
we don't say this to be mean, and there are times that Jason and I, are very subjective in this because we travel so much. But I also believe in the day of technology where it is that you need to help yourself sometimes. Because, man, there are just certain things, and a lot of it for me are things that are just following instructions.
Okay.
Like, one of my pet peeves is the crowding around the boarding gate area in the airport when they're calling the zones. Like, they call first class and everybody in main 2 and main 3 is around the gate. That is a pet peeve. Or the people that are in the pre-check line where there's the signs everywhere, like you can keep your crap in your bags.
Right.
And they're taking off their belts, they're taking off their shoes, and I'm like,
but in fairness to that, some airports want laptops out of the bag and some do not.
I'm talking about belts and shoes. The laptop,
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
I can get. I'm talking about belts and shoes.
That's fair. Some airports want laptops out. Some are okay with them in. Like,
yeah. I mean, honestly, a lot of like my isms are just people not reading.
yeah, okay.
And I do get, in international settings, there is that discrepancy maybe with language.
Absolutely.
But I've noticed Delta on my last round through JFK being a lot more explicative of the process. Like, we had a woman come out on our last flight saying, "We board by zones. Look at your ticket. That's your zone." But I mean, that's what it really is for me. It's just people not following written instructions and signs at the airport. That is probably like my biggest Or maybe people also that show up at 7 o'clock in the morning and want to check into their hotel room.
I mean that was literally me in London, but I'd already told him I was coming early, arranged an early check-in. Like I didn't just show up and
I mean, if I had $1 over the last 15 years of my life, that I've seen that.
Right. All right. So my biggest pet peeve are people that bring roller suitcases onto planes. Now if it's a long haul international flight with the massive bins, I can kind of understand it. But you see people bringing like luggage onto like a domestic, and get it just triggers me. And like it slows down the boarding process because then they have to like get deplane, go pink tag their luggage. I just hate it. And I actually don't blame the people, the passengers, as much as I do the gate agents, right? The gate
Yeah.
agent, the gate. And so when I flew JFK to Nashville, I will give the gate agent props. But she was just like, nope, pink tag. Nope. Like before we even got like.
Some of them are real like savage with it too. Because I mean, I am one of these people, you and I have discussed this. Like, I have a small carry-on that I use for work. Like, I'm traveling for a 2-night trip. The last thing I want to do, because I'm usually like running to a hotel as soon as I land.
Right.
Like, I've got appointments, I've got stuff to do. And plus, as a plus size person, if my luggage were to get lost, like finding comparable work clothes, depending on where I am, is not the best situation. But I invested in a bag that's hard shell. It's very narrow. It's not as deep as other luggage. But, these people will buy like a carry-on size bag, stuff it to the brim, fully extended. Like they're outside of the dimensions of what an airline puts out. And I almost feel like there should be in that pre-check area, like, does your bag fit in here? Kind of like Frontier when they're trying to charge people for not having that personal size. I almost feel like that's what it needs to be. And I remember my personal experience when I went to Italy for the first time and flew British. When we went to check in to get our tickets, because we had the whole family, not everybody had technology, to get an app and blah, blah, blah. They made us put our roller luggage in the holder.
Right.
And I think that's what needs to be done.
No, I agree.
I would love a lot of it because people are like bringing these massive suitcases on. Like mine, like I can put it up and it slides in. Like that's how thin it is.
Right.
But they try to bring, and then there you have all the plastic bags from stuff that they bought in the terminal, and it's just.
I agree.
Utter chaos.
Another pet peeve of mine is, I've seen this happen many times. Is people arguing with a lounge agent on if they have access to the lounge or not. It's like, but I'm flying Delta. I don't get into the Sky Club. And I'm like, move. And I get it, right? If you're not an experienced traveler, you would probably see, oh, there's a Delta room. I'm flying Delta. I should go to that room. So I
booked first class, even though it's just to Miami. And I almost feel like there could be a little bit better of a sign on the outside of those, like at least one of those like stand-up ones, like
tier 2 gets in, right?
Yeah.
No, I
think that would be more helpful. But yeah, I think a lot of it is just the reading.
Right. No, I agree.
And actually, there was somebody that jacked one of the wheelchairs that was for my dad on this trip. Like, the wheelchairs that are waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we got off and there were no wheelchairs. Like, somebody just got in a wheelchair that didn't have one requested. And
right.
Yeah. So that was a treat. So, but no. So that's another one of my pet peeves. People that steal handicap accessible stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's annoying. Well, so I like our tip of the day. We talked about this a while ago.
Yes.
And, we talked, and I'll be honest, I've never really done it. So I text Haley. I don't know why. Haley's with my mom. I text her every time I land in an airport. I don't know why. I do it every time. Wheels up, Haley. Wheels down. Every time. So I text her wheels down, blah, 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 blah. And I text her yesterday that I was like bragging that my bag was the first to come off. Like I had the first bag on my flight to come off.
At JFK. right?
No, in Nashville. In
Oh,
Nashville.
okay.
And it came pretty fast. That's it. JFK came pretty fast, but in Nashville, and I was like, got my bag, first one, and she goes, Jason, that was too long. Like it shouldn't have taken more than. I think they have a 20-minute
20-minute guarantee.
20 minutes landing to bags. And she was like, "Oh, you need to go submit the form to get 2,500 free Sky Miles." Like, I don't feel like submitting this long form, trying to justify it, waiting 6 weeks. She goes, "Jason, it's a link. You put your name, your Sky Miles number, your flight number, and like that's it." And so I did it yesterday, and I was like, "Fine." So I did it in my lift home, and I hit submit, and it like gave it to me immediately. It said, based on the information, you qualify for the free Sky Miles. Boom, here you go. So tip of the day, I tried to look up if American had this, and I couldn't find it. So this might be kind of like a Delta thing. If your bags are more than 20 minutes, go get your free 2,500 Sky Miles.
And what's a nice thing too, so if you have an Apple Watch or if you're using the Delta app too, there's now, because of the way they scan those luggage checks too, there's the notification. So, as we were
Right.
walking down to baggage claim yesterday, I got the notification that my bag was heading to the ramp. So like I kind of knew it, kind of when you're standing there, it's like, oh, I don't want to move because I don't want to miss my bag. You kind of have an idea of when it's going to come down
Right.
the chute. But I mean, by the time we even got down there, they had somebody that already like grouped and lined our luggage up.
That's amazing.
And it was just ready to go because we had to wait for the wheelchair person to push my dad down. But I mean, it really wasn't long though either. I was like,
that's good.
Oh, okay.
Nice. All right. Well, Haley, next week's show, I will pray the Celebrity Edge has good internet.
Yes.
So I will be in Europe for next week's show, and you're here, right?
For now.
For now. Okay. All right. Well, guys, this is wonderful. I'll be posting lots of pictures and stuff on social from Italy this weekend. I'm in Rome just for one night, staying at the brand new W Hotel. I'm excited
so
for that.
I can't wait for you to tell me because that's where I'm staying a couple days before my team comes in.
Oh, are you really?
So excited.
Nice.
Awesome. I got that employee rate life. I couldn't resist.
No, I don't blame you at all. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining. And until next time, we'll see you again.
We'll see you again. Now, Jason and I are just going to smile here for a couple seconds so that we can attempt to fix the hideous thumbnails. So we're going to smile for 5 seconds so you guys can laugh at us.
Bye.
See you next week. Okay, we're good.